Benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can have numerous benefits, particularly for individuals who have lived abroad for an extended period. Here are some of the advantages of giving up U.S. citizenship. Avoid double taxation. The U.S. imposes a tax on its citizens, regardless of where they live. However, many countries do not tax their citizens on income earned abroad. By renouncing U.S. citizenship, you can avoid paying taxes on foreign earned income. This can be particularly beneficial for individuals who have invested in foreign businesses or own property abroad. Simplify tax obligations. Simplify tax obligations. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can simplify your tax obligations, especially if you have complex tax situations. You will no longer be required to file U.S. tax returns or pay taxes on U.S.-sourced income. This can be especially beneficial for individuals who have moved abroad and are no longer subject to U.S. tax laws. Expand investment options. Expand investment options. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can expand your investment options, particularly in foreign markets. You will no longer be subject to U.S. investment restrictions or regulations. This can be particularly beneficial for individuals who want to invest in foreign companies or real estate. Avoid estate and inheritance taxes. Avoid estate and inheritance taxes. The U.S. imposes estate and inheritance taxes on its citizens. However, many countries do not impose these taxes on their citizens. However, it's not a simple process and has its own set of rules and regulations. Understanding the concept of double taxation. Double taxation occurs when a U.S. citizen living abroad is taxed on the same income by both the U.S. and the country of residence. This can lead to a significant financial burden, as the individual is required to pay taxes on the same income twice. For example, if a U.S. citizen living in the U.K. earns £50,000, they would be taxed on this income by the UK and also by the US, resulting in a total tax liability of £100,000. The impact of double taxation. The financial burden of double taxation can be substantial, with some individuals paying up to 50% more in taxes than they would if they were living in the US. Double taxation can also lead to a decrease in the individual's purchasing power, as they have to pay more taxes on the same income. Furthermore, double taxation can make it difficult for individuals to save and invest, as they have to pay taxes on their savings and investments. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can eliminate the obligation to pay taxes on worldwide income. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can have a profound impact on an individual's financial situation, particularly when it comes to tax compliance. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can trigger a hefty exit tax, affecting those with significant assets and tax liabilities. Understanding the exit tax. The exit tax is a complex and often misunderstood concept. It's essential to grasp its implications to make informed decisions about renouncing U.S. citizenship. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can have numerous benefits for individuals who are considering leaving the country or have already done so. One of the most significant advantages is the freedom to manage international investments more easily. The process of obtaining a visa can be complex and time-consuming, but renouncing U.S. citizenship eliminates this hurdle. For example, former U.S. citizens may find it easier to obtain a work visa in countries like Australia or Canada. This is particularly relevant for individuals who wish to pursue international business opportunities or relocate for personal reasons. Renouncing U.S. citizenship also offers a more streamlined process for obtaining residency or citizenship in countries like Mexico, Panama, or Costa Rica. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can be a complex and often misunderstood process. However, for individuals who have lived abroad for an extended period, it can offer significant benefits in terms of tax compliance and financial management. Simplifying tax compliance. One of the primary advantages of renouncing U.S. citizenship is the reduction of legal complexities related to compliance with U.S. tax laws. When you live abroad, you are still subject to U.S. tax laws, even if you don't reside in the U.S. This can lead to confusion and additional financial burdens. By renouncing your U.S. citizenship, you eliminate the need to comply with U.S. tax laws, making it easier to manage your finances abroad. Key benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship for tax compliance. Plus reduced complexity and administrative burden, plus elimination of U.S. tax obligations on foreign-sourced income, plus simplified reporting and compliance requirements. Estate and gift taxes. Another significant advantage of renouncing U.S. citizenship is the applicability of estate and gift taxes only to U.S.-sourced assets. When you renounce your U.S. citizenship, your estate and gift taxes are only applicable to assets that are sourced from the U.S. The benefits of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can be a complex and costly process, but the benefits can be substantial for individuals who are willing to take the leap. Here are some of the key advantages of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Avoidance of U.S. taxation rules. By renouncing U.S. citizenship, individuals can avoid paying U.S. taxes on foreign-earned income, which can be a significant tax burden for those living outside the United States. Simplification of estate planning. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can simplify estate planning by eliminating the need to comply with U.S. estate tax laws. Reduced estate and gift tax liabilities. By renouncing U.S. citizenship, individuals can reduce their estate and gift tax liabilities, which can be a significant cost savings. Increased financial freedom. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can provide individuals with increased financial freedom, as they are no longer subject to U.S. taxation rules. #The process of renouncing U.S. citizenship. The process of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship is a complex and costly process that requires careful consideration and planning. Here are the steps involved in renouncing U.S. citizenship. Meet the eligibility requirements. To renounce U.S. citizenship, individuals must meet certain eligibility requirements, including being a U.S. citizen for at least 10 years. Renouncing U.S. citizenship. A guide for accidental Americans. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can be a complex and nuanced process, especially for those who are not familiar with the rules and regulations surrounding it. As an accidental American, you may be eligible to renounce your citizenship without incurring penalties, but it's essential to understand the requirements and process involved. Eligibility criteria. To be eligible for the renunciation program, you must meet the following criteria. You have never filed a U.S. tax return except for the 1040 NR. Your net worth is below $2 million. Understanding the IRS requirements for renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can be a complex and costly process, and it's essential to understand the IRS requirements before making a decision. The IRS has specific rules and regulations that individuals must follow to ensure they are in compliance with tax laws. Tax compliance. One of the most critical requirements is tax compliance for at least 5 years before renouncing U.S. citizenship. This means that individuals must have filed their tax returns and paid any taxes owed for the past 5 years. Renouncing U.S. citizenship requires careful consideration and planning, involving key requirements and a complex process. Understanding the renunciation process. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can be a complex and time-consuming process, requiring careful consideration and planning. It's essential to understand the requirements and procedures involved to ensure a smooth transition. Key requirements. Age. You must be at least 18 years old to renounce U.S. citizenship. Residency. You must have been a U.S. citizen for at least 5 years, or 3 years if married to a U.S. citizen. Intent. You must intend to renounce your U.S. citizenship and live outside the U.S. for at least 1 year. The renunciation process. The renunciation process. The renunciation process typically involves the following steps: filing the application, submit Form DS-4079, application for U.S. citizenship and/or naturalization, to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. Background check. Undergo a background check to ensure you have no outstanding debts or other issues. Oath of allegiance. Take the oath of allegiance to renounce your U.S. citizenship. Renunciation ceremony. Attend a renunciation ceremony to formally renounce your U.S. citizenship. The consequences of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only your personal life but also your financial and professional standing. In this article, we will delve into the implications of renouncing U.S. However, it's not a simple process and requires careful consideration of the tax implications and potential consequences. Understanding the basics of renouncing U.S. citizenship. Renouncing U.S. citizenship, also known as expatriation, is the process of formally giving up your U.S. citizenship. This decision should not be taken lightly, as it has significant tax implications and potential consequences. Tax implications. Renouncing U.S. citizenship means you are no longer considered a U.S. citizen for tax purposes. You will no longer be required to file U.S. tax returns or pay taxes on worldwide income. However, you may still be required to file tax returns in the country where you reside. You may also be subject to taxation on your worldwide income in the country where you reside. Potential consequences. Potential consequences. Renouncing U.S. citizenship can have significant consequences on your ability to travel and live abroad. You may face difficulties when trying to obtain a visa or residency in certain countries. You may also face difficulties when trying to obtain credit or loans in certain countries. Additionally, you may face difficulties when trying to return to the U.S. in the future.